Gentlemen, let's talk about dress shoes. I'm going to show you some of the shoes that I got here, like this one, brand new, and others that I got for 9 years now, which is even a bit more than 9 years because I got them in the summer of 2015. This brand Vass shoes from Budapest. I'm going to talk about this brand just a bit later. This video is going to be like a step-by-step when you want to buy your first or second or whatever pair of dress shoes that you want. I'm going to mention my experience with different brands, different options. Also, what products do I use to take care of the shoes that I'm going to show you as well. So this video, I think, is one of the videos that I wanted for myself because I started wearing proper dress shoes when I was 22 and I didn't find this kind of videos. You know, there are a lot of people talking, maybe not as much, but there are people talking about dress shoes, and usually they are a bit like, I would say a bit snob, like, oh, you need to do this or do that. I'm a bit more practical, I would say, so I might don't take care as, you know, like Kirby is taking care of all of his shoes, and he got a lot of shoes, by the way. So I'm going to share with you my philosophy, my approach to get a new pair of dress shoes. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves when we want a new pair, maybe you never heard about this, but if you've been in the, you know, in the industry, I would say, if you've been in this world for just a little while, first thing that you always going to hear is, oh, I need to get a Goodyear welded construction shoe. But what that means the stitching that is all around the shoes here in the outside sole. That is a Goodyear welded, and that means that the sole inside, it has different layers. It has a layer of cork that is going to make the shoe more comfortable over time, because that layer of cork is going to adapt to your feet. So that sounds good, right? But what happens when it's a Blake stitching construction? A Blake stitching construction is when the stitching is inside the sole. It also has a stitched sole. Usually half of the sole is just stitched, by the way, and is inside, and that makes the shoe a bit more comfortable to wear from the beginning because it's more flexible, not like this one that is not really flexible. We are going to see now how different are different brands, by the way, but keep in mind that because, for example, Mermin, which is a Spanish brand that it offers Goodyear welded shoes that are really well made, as we are going to see now as well, are like really hard to wear at the first time, and not all the brands are making that. I think we need to know what we want. If we want to wear something that is a pain in the ass, that is really difficult to wear at the beginning, especially, I don't know what some brands are making. Here's my question actually for you all gentlemen that are watching this video. If you know the difference that, for example, brands like this is Ralph Lauren, by the way, made in Spain, but I got Mermins in the past that I sold them because it was really hard at the beginning, and even after I don't know, like 1 month wearing them like few times, it was still really hard to wear because, you know, the inside cork that is there or something that is there is really hard. It's really, you know, difficult to wear. It's not comfortable as Carmina. For example, I got here a new pair of Carminas. I got my first pair of Carminas in 2015, by the way, which is 9 years ago, like these beauties that I got also 9 years ago. And they were really comfortable to wear from the beginning, not like Mermin or other brands like this one. Ralph Lauren is still getting a bit better than Mermin's. It's still a bit harder than this one. I don't know if the difference is between the cork quality or I don't know. I'm not sure about that because, you know, I went to Carmina, to the factory of Carmina in Mallorca, and I saw how they were made, and I have the contact of the family of Carmina. I'm going to text them asking about that because I'm really curious if they have any theory about that. As I mentioned, if it's for you hard to wear, if it's something that you don't want to feel pain when you're starting wearing them, I don't recommend you to start wearing Goodyear welted. Just go for Blake stitching, which also you can replace over time. I know that the quality is not as good usually, but you can replace the soles over time. I mean, not you, just a good cobbler can do it. And usually it's even cheaper to replace the sole of a Blake stitching than a Goodyear welted construction, a Goodyear stitching that is here, that you need to be like more precise. The cobbler needs to have like a specific machine, and I know that my cobbler has one of them to get that done, and not all the cobblers they have like a proper machine to do this job, a proper job, by the way. And if you spend like 200 to get a new pair of shoes, that which is the starting point for kind of good quality Goodyear welted construction, and then when you go to your cobbler to change the soles, you're going to find out that maybe, depending on the cobbler, depending on the country you are, it depends on a lot of things, but usually it's never going to be cheaper than $100, €100, or even more probably. In the US I think it's probably more, and at that point you might think it's better to get a new pair of shoes instead of paying $100 or even more for just replacing the sole. But my advice for that is better to put on top of the leather sole, you know, like the small rubber sole, that it could be put on top. If you have just few shoes, like 1 or 2 dress shoes that you are wearing often. Or another option is to have more shoes, then you're going to wear out the soles more slowly than wearing them a lot. If you have just 1 pair or 2 pairs, well, by the way, I don't never recommend to wear the same pair really, you know, like really long time, like 1 week in a row. You know, they need to sometimes to rest, and when they are resting the shoes, then put shoe trees like this one from the best company that I know here in Europe to get them is Pexley. It's a French company that it does different things for men, that offers also shoes, but I don't think that shoes are really good. I mean, kinda fair enough, but not really like the best ones. They are doing a lot of offers with shoe trees and different accessories, but the shoe trees are completely worth it. I don't know about their accessories or their clothes. I never had anything from them, but they are not specialized, at least how I want a company that is specialized on shoes. And when a brand has a lot of different things, they cannot do a lot of things good, and I don't think their shoes are good. I mean, could be worth it. Some of them they have like a Blake stitchings, others are like cement construction. Cement is when the sole is glued, you know, like it's just glued there. And even sometimes, and I know brands like Massimo Dutti are doing like a fake stitching all around the soles, like making it like, oh, this is a Goodyear welted. It's not, it's just a cement construction. Sometimes they do some Blake stitching, and even in the past they had like Goodyear welted made in Spain, but not anymore, at least from Massimo Dutti. But depends, because Massimo Dutti is always changing the quality, so it might be sometimes something that could be good, but we need to focus on brands that are specialized mainly on shoes, like Carmina or Vass shoes. Let's go for Carmina, because when a brand is specialized only on shoes, you probably are going to get, or Crockett & Jones, by the way, or Edward Green, or Gassiano, which are the best of the best. I got a friend that I was working for them, and I saw all the collection that he has, which is insane, of Gassianos and Crockett and Edward. He has a lot of, but he was working for Gassiano and he got a lot of shoes, and I would say that definitely they are the best shoes that I ever seen. But if they are worth it or not, especially comparing with Vass shoes, I would say they are not. I mean, if you want, you know, like the prestige of the brand, I mean, not the terms of, you know, Prada, Gucci, Balenciaga, not that kind of prestige, but that kind of feeling of being in Savile Row, that is handmade in the UK, that kind of things, then yes, they are probably the best shoes of the UK. The ready to wear is insane. How the last is, I'm going to talk about the last just in a minute, but let's focus now in, as I mentioned, the second point is to focus on brands that are specialized on shoes. They offer different lasts. I'm talking about how the last of the shoe is, what is the shape of the last. You are going to feel also in your feet that is different when you wear this, or you wear this, or you wear this. So you want shoes that are comfortable for you. And I know that sounds really obvious, but when you go to a store, just try them. Try different lasts, different designs. Just walk a bit with them, you know, inside the store, or if you receive them in your home because you get them online, just try them on with carpets or rugs or whatever you got. Don't try them outside of the carpet of the rug, because then it's going to have marks here, and maybe the company is going to say that they cannot accept your return. Just be mindful with that. And my best advice is always try them with time. Just try them, even if you're in the sofa watching whatever. Some of my friends or customers of my brand, that they got new pair of shoes, dress shoes, and they start wearing them during their wedding, and they start feeling pain, and then they cannot return them, and you're going to spend a lot of money to get a proper dress shoes. So that's my best advice, is always get a brand that is comfortable for you. Always get a last that is comfortable for you. And also keep in mind, it's not just about the design, the last of the sole, it's also about the sole that they have. Rubber soles, if you're going for a rubber sole, I recommend two brands, B brand, or the other one that is an English one that I don't remember right now, that is going to appear here anyway, the name. They are a bit more comfortable, at least from my own experience, are appropriate for the rain. Also there's the option that it has like a mix, the leather and the rubber, but that option is not good, at least from my own experience. Suede, by the way, is a bit more comfortable, a bit more flexible, a bit more soft, but it's a bit more difficult to maintain, and that's why this is my first pair of suede shoes that are now I'm ready to get them. But I also got a spectator shoe from Carmina mixing leather and suede, and I know that the suede, you know, when you have stain, or even you have the marks of, you know, when you walk, you are going to create kind of small marks on the leather, and that marks are even kind of more visible on suede than on leather. That's why I would say that suede is really good, it's more casual, but it's a slightly bit difficult to maintain and to repair as well. You can use like this from Sapphire. I'll leave it on the description, the products that I use. And also Sapphire, I know they got a lot of different options to protect them within spray, so that could be a good option to protect them, but even though they will require a bit more time to take care of them. That's why I do prefer calf or grain leather, or even cordovan, which is like the most resistant one. I never had one made of cordovan. I'll have it someday. We always need to focus on good quality leather without, you know, a lot of creases, a lot of small details that are like bad signs of bad quality leather. And also the smell, to me, it's really important how the leather smells. I know this sounds weird maybe for you, but to me, when I got the new pair, it was like, wow. And even the ones that I got for years, like, still smelling really good. When you got a really good quality of leather, you are going to feel the difference. Also in terms of the creases, that it doesn't crease as much. I mean, also this depends on the last of the shoe and how it's adapting to your feet and how you walk. Because if you have like maybe here like a gap or a lot of space, then it's going to create more creases. So it depends. But this one, 9 years. And it looks like brand new. I mean, not brand new, but you are going to see that it doesn't have creases here. Even those ones from Ralph Lauren that I got like this summer, they started having creases here, and these ones they don't. Also, the brands that are specialized on shoes, they usually offer like the shoe tree that it has the same form as the last of the shoe, which is also great to maintain them. So why the Vass shoes are so special, not just because of the shoe tree, it's also the design that they have here, the last, how narrow is here, how it's going wider here, and not only that, it's a hand-welded Goodyear construction. Actually, it's hand-welded, hand-lasted, and hand-stitched. It's everything made by hand. And that's why I think these are the best shoes that I ever tried. They are really, really comfortable from the beginning for my feet. and even though it's quite narrow here, I know I cannot walk a lot with them. These dress shoes are not made for walking. I mean, when you want to walk a lot, when you are going to run, you need a proper sneakers for that. When you're going to wear dress shoes, it's more for a less. What I do is usually more office work, being with my customers here, or designing, or whatever thing that I'm doing, like a more office work, different kind of work. And maybe you can walk a bit to go to the restaurant, to go to your home, to go from your car to your office, and that's fine. I mean, I can walk with them just a bit, but not a lot. I mean, I'm not expecting to get them and walk, you know, a lot of kilometers every day, because they are not made for walking a lot, but they are really beautiful and really well made. And definitely, to me, they are the best shoes that I ever tried. Better than Gassianos, better than, especially for the price you're going to pay, better than Edward Green, better than Crockett & Jones, that I got Crockett & Jones as well. And Carmina, by the way, this is my third pair of Carminas. You know, this is like in another game. You know, when you have like different games like Edward Green or Gassianos are here. And here we have like Crockett & Jones, Alden shoes, like a different game. And they are the best of this level, by the way. These ones from Ralph Lauren, like full price is 700, something like that. So it's even more expensive than the Carminas. And I got them on an outlet for 170 euros, which is good for the price you're paying. But even there are companies like Berwick, that is Spanish brand, that I think is mainly in Spain and also in Korea. Maybe they have some online retailers that are offering, or Janko, for example, or another Spanish brand, just a slightly lower level, I would say, than Carmina, but it's a really great quality for the price you're going to pay. And if you are just starting, I would say go for one of that companies. You can watch the video that I made ranking different Spanish shoemakers. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend to go and watch that video. And now, last but not last, just talk about how I take care of my shoes. And I do really a practical approach here, because I don't spend a lot of time, you know, polishing them. For me, as I mentioned with suede, which I think is a bit more difficult to take care of, I only polish them when I think that is really necessary, because in the past I went a bit crazy with that, and even I tried to have, you know, with the mirror gloss, that you can have like a mirror shine on the toe of the shoe. Then is when you are going to get crazy, I think, because then is when you need to every day, I mean not every day, right, most of the days after wearing them, you need to polish them again to maintain that, because it's going to have small creases in the mirror shine. By the way, only use Sapphire Medal d'Or, I think is how it's pronounced, I'm not sure about that, but you know, the premium line of Sapphire. This is going to last a lot of time. But before this came to the market, you need to spend more time to make a proper mirror shine using the regular ones, that you need to put, you know, like a drop of water, and after that just a layer of this, another drop of water, another layer, and another. And this, it makes my life when I was doing the mirror shine a bit easier, I would say, but even though it's still quite difficult to maintain. But there is one thing that I recommend to apply more often, which is the Renovator or Renovateur, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, maybe once in a month or something. Whenever you see that it needs to, the leather is getting a bit dry, then is when you apply this. That's why I think one of these products, it needs to be in your routine, like as I mentioned, like once in a month or something like that. Don't be crazy like every day wanting to polish, or every week or something like that. Like, I mean, if you enjoy that, then go ahead with that, but it's not my cup of tea. That's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Which pair is your favorite pair of dress shoes? I'll see you in the next video.